This is my 2006 Sportster. Got a couple other videos on YouTube of this bike, but they don't really have any dialogue, and I haven't updated in about 8 months, so I figured I'd do a new one. It's a nice day out. It's the XLC model, so I have that original front 21-inch wheel going on. Got the mirrors inverted. I've had that done for a while, but I just figured I'd give you guys a rundown of what's going on now. I had a chopped front fender on it that I cut up, but I just recently removed the front fender and the back fender. Got a set of aluminum GP clip-on bars. It's really cool. They're expensive, but it's worth it. You gotta loosen up your upper and lower trees, slide your fork tubes down, and then slide them up and tighten everything back up. It's a pain in the ass. I ran into some issues with the throttle cable and wiring problems, but I think I got them all ironed out. Got the original Sportster headlight there. It's flipped upside down. Some of the guys on the HD forums are doing that, and it looks badass. Just totally old school look, and I liked it a lot. What I had to do was I just went to a plumbing supply warehouse and bought some pipe hangers, doubled them up, made like an awkward X out of them, bolted them to the original visor mount, and just re-drilled the holes, and that way it won't wobble or anything like that. And what I actually had to do was I had to extend the stock wiring harness because it wouldn't stretch. So if anybody plans on doing that, you might have to extend your harness. On the upper tree, I just threw in some nuts and some bolts and washers to cover up the original handlebar mount. I have the Summit Speedo relocator that everyone's doing. I've got my trip odometer up here on the tree. Went ahead and did a tank lift, primarily for the lines of the bike. I wasn't really concerned with getting too many wires hidden up there. As you can see, it's pretty sloppy, and that's just the way I like it. I just was going for the style, not cleaning up above the front cylinder head. That's just the style of my bike. It's all messy and dirty and homemade. So I had the ignition switch mounted right here. You can see in my other videos, and it broke, I think, from the heat and the vibration from the cylinder head. So all you guys with your irons and nicers that are mounting your ignition switch and your coil here, I don't know if that's such a hot idea. I don't know, mine lasted about 6 months. Maybe it was just bad luck, or maybe it was just going to break to begin with. I'm not sure. Just a few little stupid touches on the choke and the oil filter. The bike came with forward controls. Didn't like it, and especially with the clip-ons, a lot of people will use mid control, so I bought a set of Nightster mid controls for the bike. Let's see here. I took off the both side covers. I don't like that look. It's just too round. It makes your bike look like it's pregnant or something. Gives it a belly. I didn't like it. Bike didn't have any foot pegs, so I went to Home Depot and I just got a set of 6-inch eye bolts and threw them in there just so you can switch up your riding position a little bit. I got 10-inch rigid struts in the back, just a cheap side mount plate holder with a brake light. Chopped the rear frame rails, and I had a chopped rear fender on the bike, but I saw a guy running down the road one day with no fender, and I just thought it was the cat's ass, so I had to do that. And didn't know how I was going to mount the seat. This is a LaPera bare bones solo seat. You know, the seat mounts to the back of the fender here. Well, what I did was, it's worked out really well. I just took the seat tab and loosened it up and turned it around, and it mounts to the original stock fender mount running off below your seat, and it worked out really well. I'm not using any belt guards. I took the sprocket cover off. The timer cover there, I took that off, sprayed it black, and then filed it down with a sanding block so it would raise the ring and the Harley Davidson medallion. This is just some cheap Cycle Shack exhaust. And actually what I did was there's a stock crossover down here. I'm using that crossover as still a mounting point, especially for the rear pipe. But I took everything off, took the pipes off, and where the crossover meets in the pipes, there's like two ports on each side. I welded the ports up, and it's like true dual exhaust now. Still using the crossover as a mount, like I said, but now I get a really cool backfire, and it gives it a different sound. And while the pipes were off, I scuffed them down real good with a Scotch-Brite, and sprayed them with that high heat paint, like 2,000 degree paint you can buy at AutoZone or pretty much anywhere, and it's holding up really well. It's a stock air cleaner. I just chopped it up using the base as a mounting surface, and then that's just a piece of shit Harley Davidson cotton element filter. Eventually I'm going to actually make my own intake that some guys on the forums are doing. So all the skins were originally painted with Harley Davidson's flat black finish, but like I said, I took the fenders off, and then I just kind of went to town. Actually, this past weekend on the tank, that's the original black I sprayed it with, but I kind of just went and did some, I don't know, tattoo work, I guess you could call it, on the tank and on the headlight. So that's about it. One other thing is with the ignition switch breaking, what I did was I took the wires and I brought them back, and I hardwired in an on-off toggle switch so you don't need a key to start the bike anymore, which is actually a nice safety feature, because on these bikes, if someone sees your ignition switch and your gooseneck's not locked, all you got to do to hotwire these bikes is take the 3 ignition wires and touch them together, and you're off. So I actually think that's a pretty nice feature. Just hit it down, come up. You just come over and it's off. That's it.